Good morning, Year 2, and welcome to your Thursday reading lesson. I'm going to share my screen and let's get started. Right, today, as it's Thursday, we're moving away from our text that we've been reading and we're going to move on to our reading different genres. And today we're going to read a genre called a poem, and the poem is called The Star. So as a little warm-up to remind ourselves about poetry, because we've been doing a bit of it recently, can you pause your screen and write down what features a poem has and how is a poem different to a story? Pause your screen and have a go now. Okay, so features a poem might have is it might have rhyme, alliteration, it might have just similes and metaphors and different language in it that you wouldn't always see in all other stories and texts like that. It might have verses, so little bits of chorus. It might have repetition, so things are repeated over and over again, but you may have put some other things, and it'll have like a beat, it'll have a rhythm to it. It's a bit more like a song than a story or a written non-fiction text. So how is a poem different to a story? Well, we've kind of already touched on that. A story, you know, it has a beginning, a middle and end. A poem doesn't need to have that. A poem will use language in a kind of abstract way, and it won't really have kind of a story around it. It may be describing something through poetry rather than being a story. And a poem is different to a story because a poem can have all the different punctuation it likes. It can use punctuation in whatever way it likes, and while a story has a very structured way of using punctuation. So let's move on. So here we are. So the structure of a poem is it's written in verses, which we've spoken about. Each line starts with a capital letter, so it kind of goes on to a new line. It's not about starting a new sentence or writing in order. We kind of go on to new lines and things like that. And sometimes it will have commas in it as well to show the end of a line rather than full stops at the end of sentences. It will have alliteration, so lots of sounds that kind of start with the same letter. We'll have lots of figurative language. The language won't be, you know, it'll be kind of imaginative and things like that, and it will make you think and describe things in a different way. It will make imagery, so it makes you come up with different thoughts in your head. Metaphors, so it will have things that are put there that aren't really real, and you'll learn about metaphors as you go through. Onomatopoeia, so words that sound how they're said, so crash, bang. Patterns that repeat itself, personification, make things that aren't people become like people. So the tree was waving in the wind. Repetition, so repeating itself, which we talked about. Rhyme and rhythm. Similes, comparing things to other things. So the bear was as loud as a drum. And verse, so having like little verses and they can repeat as well. So there's some of the features, and you'll learn more of them. Some of them will you look at in Year 2, some of them you'll learn as you go throughout primary school. So a little starter today, we're going to be reading an extract that has lots of different A sounds in it, and lots of different A sounds spelt in different ways and pronounced in different ways. So I'm going to read this to you to start with. This is just to warm up our brains, get our retrieval heads working on before we go on and do our poem. So I'm going to read it, but if you'd like to mute me and read it yourself, it's completely up to you. Jane was feeling very frustrated one day. Standing in the kitchen while she tried to bake a cake, her little baby JJ wouldn't stop complaining. So frustrated means you're quite annoyed and you're quite angry, and complaining means kind of moaning and groaning and grumbling in those kind of ways. Clawing, with his hands, clawing like a little animal, at her apron and painting her with trails of food and dirt. He wailed and howled, so he's crying and moaning and groaning, and then wailed some more. Jane tried to check the weight of the flour. JJ wailed. Jane tried to shake off the floury trails on her apron. JJ wailed, still crying. Little baby JJ just wanted to play. He had been waiting since 8 o'clock. Over half an hour, and everyone knows babies can't wait patiently for long. So patiently means that when you're waiting, you're calm and you're quiet and you're not moaning and groaning. Sighing in dismay, so in anger and upset, Jane decided to delay, to put off, make it go later, the cake until after JJ's nap, and took him out into the garden to play. Hooray! Right, so I would like you now to tell me, how was Jane feeling? Why was she feeling like that? Why was baby JJ crying? And when was Jane going to bake the cake? So pause the screen and answer these questions. Off you go. Okay, fantastic. If you've done that, well done. let's go through the answers together. So let's start with Jane was feeling frustrated. Okay, so she was feeling angry, she was feeling annoyed, she couldn't get what she wanted to do done, she was feeling frustrated. And why was she feeling like that? Because she couldn't bake her cake because of her baby. Because the baby was crying. Why was baby JJ crying? Well, what you tell me. He was crying, you all know, because he wanted to play. And when was Jane going to bake the cake? After his nap. A nap is like a little sleep. He was going to go and have a nap, and then she would bake the cake. Okay, so if you got all of those right, well done. And now let's today move on to today's learning. So we're carrying on today with looking at inference in our reading, and we're going to define, and as we define the skill of inference, it's to look for clues to answer questions. So we're going to look at how do you think someone felt and why did this person or character do this, and our steps to success today, we're going to read the question, we're going to find the key words in the question, we're going to find the key words in the text, we're going to read around the key words to find the answer, look for clues to find the answer, and then we're going to look for those reasons in the text to support our answer. We can't just make up anything, we have to use the text to support our answer and to back it up. And then we're going to write our answers and our reasons today. So this is our poem, it's called The Star. You may have heard something similar to it before, it's a kind of like a song, but it's a little bit different. So I'm going to read it to you, but as I always say, if you'd rather mute me and read it yourself, you can do. We're then going to talk about some of the words, and then you can have a go as your assignment at answering some inference questions. So here we go. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. When the blazing sun is gone, when he nothing shines upon, then you show your little light, twinkle, twinkle, all the night. Then the traveller in the dark thanks you for your tiny spark. He could not see which way to go if you did not twinkle so. In the dark blue sky you keep, and often through my curtains peep, for you never shut your eye till the sun is in the sky. As your bright and tiny spark lights the traveller in the dark, though I know not what you are, twinkle, twinkle, little star. Oh, I like that poem. That's really nice, isn't it? You can see that this has got some rhyming in it, and it's kind of making that the star become like a person. So she's talking about a star, but she's kind of giving them things that they're doing. They're kind of making out all the different things that they can do. And you can see that there's rhyming. So up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. They both end with that I sound. It's spelt differently, but they both end with that I sound. In the dark blue sky you keep, and often through my curtains peep. So we've got keep and peep. So I've picked out 4 words from the text that I'd like you to have a little talk about and a little think about. So we've got wonder, blazing, traveller and peep. So have a little look in the text, pause your screen, have a go, and then tell me what you think those words might mean, using the text to help you, using when you've heard words similar or you've heard that word before in a context, and work it out. Off you go. Okay, well done. If you finish that, fantastic. If you need a bit more time, keep pausing. So wonder. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. So wonder means to think, okay, or to imagine. So in your head, you're thinking and imagining and wondering. So I wonder what you are. I'm looking up at this star and I'm wondering what it is. Blazing, like a diamond in the sky, when the blazing sun is gone, when he nothing shines upon. So blazing means kind of like on fire. So we say on like a fiery blaze, really hot. So a blazing hot day, or a blazing sun, a blazing fire, kind of that hot, blazing, full of light sort of thing. Traveller. So then the traveller in the dark. So traveller in the dark thanks you for your tiny spark. So a traveller is a person on a journey, okay, travelling somewhere. And we can see he's definitely would thank the star for his tiny spark. And peep, what does peep mean? In the dark blue sky you keep, and often through my curtain. In the dark blue sky you keep, and often through my curtains peep. So peep means to kind of peek through something. So peek through, or look at something. Okay, you might say, don't peep when we've got a surprise for someone and they've got to keep their eyes closed. Okay. Okay, so those words might help us with solving some of these inference questions today. So, our practice question is, how might a traveller feel about the stars? Okay, so we're going to find our keywords, which are going to be traveller and star, and then our answer is going to be a feeling. So have a little look in the text. There's traveller, there's star. So it's going to be around here, because that's the bit where we've got traveller. Oh, and traveller here as well. Okay, so have a little read and see how you think a traveller might feel about the stars. Pause the screen and have a go now. Okay, well done if you've done that. So I'm going to read this a little bit. Then the traveller in the dark thanks you for your tiny spark. As your bright and tiny spark lights the traveller in the dark. So the traveller thanks you for your tiny spark. So thanking you is thanking the star, because they're talking to the star. So how might a traveller feel about the stars? I am going to put, he would feel grateful or thankful, because it said he's going to thank the stars because they're showing him the way. They're lighting up the sky. They're lighting up. So he would feel grateful or thankful. Those kind of words he feels about the stars, grateful and thankful. So what you're going to do now is on Teams, there's the poem, and then there is some inference questions to answer about the poem as well, and a couple of retrieval down there as well. So you need to have a go at doing your inference questions today about this poem, and then if you finish, you can do a stretch, which is to answer some what, why, where, when and who questions about the poem. So going back to our retrieval skill, and you can write some of your own questions and answers using those question stems. I'll mark your work on Teams and I look forward to seeing it. Bye for now.